In this session, we will learn how to allocate the merchandise manually using a sales order number and generate the related big ticket document numbers. From the transaction menu, select Sales Order Allocation module, then select Allocation by Order. Either type in the order number that you would like to allocate, or you can select it from the list. The system will warn you if this order is still on hold status. However, you can continue by confirming this message. When the sales order information populates, click Edit the current record icon, and now you will see the sales order lines listed, sorted by the store number and the style and color. Please note that the allocation process is important to reserve the available inventory for a certain sales order, and it will help the packers as well decide the quantity to pick from the warehouse in case of any short shipment or unavailable merchandise. To start allocating the selected sales order, we have a couple of options to discuss. First, you can either allocate the merchandise without generating a big ticket document, or you can allocate the merchandise and generate the big ticket right away if we go to option and selected generate big ticket number option. The second option we have is whether or not we want to force the allocation. So if I go to options, always force allocation, and if I check that option, that means the system will allocate the merchandise or the quantity available in that sales order line, no matter if there is availability or not for the related style and color. If the option to always force allocation was unchecked, that means the system will allocate the merchandise only whenever there is available quantity in the inventory. So let me check always force allocation, indicating for the system that I'm gonna allocate and generate big ticket no matter if there is available inventory or not. Once you choose your options, you can either pick individual lines, you can pick by store, or you can pick the entire order lines. If you want to pick simply one store at the time, you can choose pick by store, and the system will here open up a list of all the available store numbers to pick. You can select individual stores, or you can select all the store numbers that you would like to allocate. Click apply selection when you are done with your store selections, and now the system will tag all the stores and all the lines to be shipped to the selected store numbers. The other option available, if you are ready to pick all the stores for that sales order number, you can simply click pick all, confirm the action, and the system will highlight and select all the lines related to that sales order. As you can see, the system displays here the original open order quantity and the open amount. It will display the quantity to be picked and the picked amount, and once we click save, the system will generate a big ticket number document. Let us take a look on the information available on each line. We have here the available quantity for each style color broken down by size. We have the ordered quantity, and we have the quantity that will be allocated and included in the big ticket number. If you want to revise or allocate partially, you can go to any given sales order line for a given style and color and override the quantity for that specific style, color, and size, and indicate the quantity to be allocated. This practice is helpful in case of short shipment, or in case if you are not shipping the entire ordered quantity, and you can do the same for each style, color, and the related store number. Once you are done with revising all the information, click Save Modification button, and now the system will allocate the merchandise and generate the pick ticket number. As you can see in that column, the pick ticket number have been now generated for each store. Now we'll take a look at some helpful options and tools that can help you manage your work during working on the order allocation. So from the options drop down menu, you can choose one of these tools like customer inquiry, which will take you to the customer master record to inquire additional information about the current customer. Style inquiry, the same idea, it can open up the related style master, so you can inquire the selected style color in details. You can go to the cotton sold and see how many pieces are in work in progress, total inventory available to sell, and so on. So if we close out of here and go back to options menu, you can also decide the way that you want the system to sort the order lines by, either sorted by line number, sorted by store number, etc. Usually by default the system will display the order lines sorted by the store number, since it will generate one pick ticket for each store. You can furthermore choose the scope on option, which will basically allow you to set a filter on the order lines in case of a multi-store sales order or large number of order lines. You can narrow down or filter down the order lines by style number, by store, or by the coordinate group. So let us say I want to narrow down my sales order line to only one style and color, so I select that style color and click apply selection. I want to narrow down my selection to a given particular store number or numbers, so I select those store numbers, click apply selection, and so on. The same idea, I can select a certain coordinate group in case if it's used on the sales order entry. Once you are done with your selection, click set scope, and the system here will filter down the sales order lines and display only the lines that match the scope criteria that you chose. To set back to the original order lines, simply go to the scope again and click clear scope. Close out of the scope option to return to the original sales order lines. Other helpful options is to zoom order lines, and this option can be helpful to inquire or view all the sales order lines without the detailed information about the availability. This way you can focus on the store numbers and the related styles, total open quantity, total picked, and so on. To switch back to the detailed view, go back to options and uncheck zoom order lines. As we discussed before, the option to always force allocation will determine whether or not the system will check the available quantity before allocating any individual line, and the option to generate pick ticket number will determine whether or not to generate the pick ticket number directly once the system allocates the merchandise. So in this session we learned how to allocate the merchandise and generate pick ticket numbers by the sales order, either the sales order is a single store or a multi-store order.